life, huh? I would hope it is for a guy like me. Damn it, Andrew! People's lives are at stake here. Now, Rich, don't say stuff like that. No, I don't want to hear no one. I just want you to whisper sweet nothings in my ear. Hey, Rich, this is Captain Bill here. We're still listening. My airplane's doing just fine. How's yours? I got a lot of people that care about me, and it's going to disappoint them to hear that I did this. I would like to apologize to each and every one of them. Just that broken guy. Got a few screws loose, I guess. Never really knew it until now. Hey, pilot guy, can this thing do a backflip thing? Well, I try to figure out how to use the autopilot first. If you were to do it, how would you do it? Hey, you think if I land this successfully, Alaska will give you a job as a pilot? I think they would give you a job doing anything if you could pull this off. Yeah, right. I'm gonna land it, like in a safe kind of manner. I think I'm trying to do a barrel roll, and if that goes good, now I'm just gonna nose down and call it a night. The rougher one, POI once completed a barrel roll. Once you confirm he did a barrel roll. Firm, he cleared the surface of the water by approximately 10 feet. Took Rock 2 from Rock 1. The POI 1 did a barrel roll and just barely missed hitting the water. All right, Rich, this is Captain Bill. Congratulations. He did that. Now let's try to land that airplane safely and not hurt anybody in ground. All right. Damn it. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want to. I was kind of hoping that was going to be it, For long, I feel like one of my instruments is going out or something.
Hello, Internet. How are we this evening? Long live the Sky King. In 2018, back, what was that, 6 years ago yesterday, a man named Richard Russell stole an airplane out of the Seattle Tacoma International Airport and decided to fly it around. And he decided to end his life in, some would say, heroic fashion. I think he represents a lot of us that maybe have a screw loose, a lot of broken men that there's a lot of men out there that feel like they were supposed to do something more and life hasn't really turned out the way they thought it would. And I think that's how it was for Mr. Richard Russell. And he decided to do something stupid. I'm not glorifying what he did in any way, and it's more to say this is more of a man problem. So you guys out there, and you guys who might be watching, if you got some friends that you worry about sometime, reach out to them. Say hi, check in, just see how they're for no other reason than just to call them and say hi, just check in. Little stuff like that can save someone's life. As you guys, some of you guys know, I was introduced to the suicide factor at a very young age, and it had a big impact on my life. For some reason, I've been thinking about the Sky King a lot this weekend. He just seems so normal the way he's talking in the plane, and he was even considering landing the plane for a little bit. It was like a last minute decision to just end it, and I think a lot of people sort of can relate with that guy, and that's how I decided to start this episode off with a somber message about the Sky King. So if you guys forgot about that, just wanted to remind you guys to reach out to your boys. When I was 10 years old, I had an uncle named Dan, and my sister and I loved him very much. He was a very cool guy, very funny guy, very talented guy. And seems random, but my sister took a very long time to learn how to ride her bike. She was past the age that most people are when you learn how to ride your bike. And we were out at Sakamoto Elementary School in San Jose, California. This is back in probably, I don't know, 1990, 91, 92 or something like that. And my uncle would push my sister behind the bike and, just trying to teach her how to ride. And without my sister knowing, my uncle let go of the bike and my sister started riding it around on her own. She didn't even realize she was riding it on her own. And then by the time she realized it was too late for her to fall off, she realized that she was riding on her own. And it was a big, exciting thing for her. It was a giant thing. And I'll never forget that, just because she was trying to learn how to ride that damn bike for so freaking long. And about a week or 2 weeks, maybe a month after that, my uncle decided to jump off the Golden Gate Bridge. And well, he didn't make it. It was rough. It was rough on the whole family, especially my mom. And yeah, so suicide, bad thing. Reach out to your boys, check in on them. Anyway, now that I got the show off to a nice uplifting start, how is everybody? Wally World, the RGS, Lori, nice to see all you guys in the chat. If you're watching, jump in the chat, say hi. I like to hear from you. It helps boost my self-esteem. We got a lot to talk about tonight. A lot of things have gone on since the last time I did a show without a guest. The last show I did without a guest was the day after the attempted suicide on Donald Trump that everybody seems to not be talking about anymore. The media, Google, the Secret Service, government, it's just sort of been memory hold. It's insane. An assassination attempt on a former president, and it's just sort of been memory hold. Wally World, I'm fantastic. Thank you, homie. I appreciate it. Yeah, so there's a bunch to get into. There's stuff going on across the pond. Lots of insane shenanigans going on over there. Kamala stuff, and yeah, a bunch of other things. So yeah, we'll get right into it. Hope everybody's doing well. Happy Sunday. Let's see. What do we got tonight? Let's see. I'm gonna start off with the England stuff over across the pond and try to figure out what the hell they are doing over there. So let me cue this up really quick. I haven't yet. You guys know how it goes. I'm only doing a show once a week, so I get rusty and I can't remember what I'm supposed to be doing here. Actually, I don't even need to share this on the screen. I'm going to read an article from Reuters. So this is how the mainstream press is reporting what's going on down over there in England, or across the pond, up, sideways. I don't know. Over there in England. And there's a lot of riots. They're showing what looks like battles in the streets between what they're saying far right nationalists and Muslim men. And they're showing looting. They're showing all sorts of stuff. It looks like chaos going on over there, which is funny because a bunch of people from my company are going to London right now. I don't think any of this stuff's going down in London. There might be some protests, but yeah, I don't think any of the crazy looting and stuff like that's going on over there in London. But let's see what Reuters has to say about it. Let me close my email so it doesn't keep doing that. Quit. Okay. All right. So Reuters says, and we're going to take this with a grain of salt, but I want to start this off with a Reuters article to say just what the mainstream press is reporting is happening over there. I'm not saying this is probably coming from a skewed perspective, a corporate press perspective. But all right, so from Reuters, explainer: why are there riots in the UK? Why are there riots in the UK, and who's behind them? So, London, August 7th, riots have erupted at an anti-immigration protest in towns and cities across Britain last week, with attacks of far-right groups on hotels, asylum seekers, and on mosques. Here is the background of the disorder and what has caused it. This font is small, so bear with me here. All right, so this is what they say caused it. Why did the protest begin? On July 29th, 3 girls aged between ages 6 and 9 were killed during an attack at a Taylor Swift-themed dance event for children in the seaside town of Southport in northern England. 8 other children and 2 adults were hurt. Police arrested a 17-year-old male, and false information circulated on social media that the suspect was an Islamist migrant, which led to violent anti-Muslim protests in Southport the following day and an attempt to attack the town's mosque. The teenager since has been charged with murder and attempted murder. Police said he was born in Britain and have not treated the attack as terrorism. So where have there been riots? The day after the Southport trouble, several thousand people gathered near Stamar's Downing Street. Sorry if I'm butchering that. You Redcoats. I don't really care. Starmer's Downing Street office in central London, and more than 100 arrests were made following the clashes with police. There have since been riots in more than 20 places across Britain, from Sunderland and northern and northeast England and Manchester in northeast to Plymouth in the northwest and Belfast in Northern Ireland. Most of the protests involved a few hundred people targeting migrants or Muslims, with police vehicles set alight and bricks, bottles, and other missiles thrown. Missiles? What? Okay. Thrown at mosques and police officers. Shops, including Asian-owned businesses, have been vandalized or looted. In Rotherham, in northern England, a hotel that held migrants was attacked, with windows smashed and large garbage containers set ablaze outside. Around 400 people have been arrested since the disturbance started, police chief says, and more than 120 people have been charged in connection with the riots. All right, who's behind the riots? Prime Minister's Keir Jeez, I didn't even know this was the Prime Minister. I'm so out of it. Yeah, this guy's brand new, right? Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Keir, am I saying that right? Keir Starmer has said, let me check him with the chat. You guys are probably destroying me right now. Am I saying all this stuff right? All right. Okay. All right. I guess I'm saying stuff right because you guys aren't making fun of me. So let's see. Prime Minister Keir Starmer said that violence was the result of far-right thuggery. High-profile anti-immigration and anti-Muslim activists such as Stephen Yaxley Lennon, known as Tommy Robinson. Lennon, huh? Stephen Yaxley Lennon, known as Tommy Robinson, have promoted the protests online and have been accused by politicians and the media of peddling misinformation to inflame tensions. Robinson has accused the media of lying about him. Social media firms have been accused by the government of not doing enough to stop the spread of disinformation, while the Institute of Strategic Dialogue think tank said that the company's own algorithms had played a significant role in amplifying false messages. Police said those involved in the clashes were mainly far-right agitators from outside their local communities, but in some cases they had been joined by people with local grievances or young people seeking to join the disorder. There have also been large groups of counter-protesters, anti-fascist groups, and Asian men gathering in some areas where protests have been taken place or were expected. All right, so why are people protesting? Many of those, this font is tiny, guys, I apologize. Many of those involved describe themselves as patriots who say the record levels of illegal and legal immigration are undermining British society. Some far-right activists argue online that immigration has fueled violence and crime, including assaults on women and girls, and that migrants have been housed or treated favorably by politicians. And from what I'm seeing, that seems to be the case. Like, didn't some dude just rape a little girl, like a young girl, and then they gave him a super light sentence, like probation or something? Because, you know, I don't have the article pulled up, so I shouldn't even be talking about it. But they gave him a super light sentence because he said they said that he didn't know he wasn't allowed to do that. So, and you know what? I shouldn't even be talking about that because I don't have the article pulled up. But it does seem that there is sort of a double standard in terms of law enforcement out in England. Rights groups say, actually, all of the United Kingdom. Right groups say that this is simply not true. Some on the right also accuse the police of treating patriotic protesters more severely than they do people involved in, say, recent pro-Palestine marches or Black Lives Matter demonstrations in 2020. The government and the police have rejected that characterization of British policing, with Mark Rowley, the UK's most senior officer, calling it nonsense. Nonsense? There's no truth to it whatsoever. Anti-racist groups say looting of the shops and attacks on the police and mosques betray the true motive of those behind the violence that has broken out at many of the protests, adding that patriotism was being used as a veneer for extremism. In a YouGov poll published on Tuesday, 3/4 of respondents said that rioters did not represent the views of Britain as a whole, with 7% saying they support the violence. Well, who's going to say they support the violence? I mean, that doesn't seem like a very honest question to ask. Do you support the violence, or do you think there's any weight to what they are saying, the people that are protesting? What is the UK government doing? To quell the disorder, Starmer has said rioters will face the full force of the law. I got a video of him saying that later. Nearly 600 additional prison places are being made available, and the specialist officers are being drafted in. A 58-year-old British man was jailed for 3 years for violent disorder at Liverpool Crown Court on Wednesday, in one of the first sentences to be handed down over the rioting. Oh, man, they're sentencing people already. The government has also vowed to go after not just the rioters, but those who use social media to spread the trouble. So that's sort of the key phrase there, the key sentence there. They're going after people that just said stuff online. So that's where this goes crazy. So yeah, there's definitely a double standard going on. One man has been charged with using threatening words or behavior intending to stir up racial hatred over Facebook posts. He has been charged. So they don't have the First Amendment over there in Britain. I mean, that might be part of the reason why we explicitly put it in our Constitution, because they knew that the government would just arrest you for things that you say. Now, fast forward, we got the internet, and people in the UK are arrested and imprisoned for things that they say online. So I'll read that again. One man has been charged with using threatening words or behavior intended to stir up racial hatred over Facebook posts. Britain's science minister, Peter Kyle, has met representatives from TikTok, Meta, Google, and X to enforce the message that they had a responsibility for helping to stop incitement and the spread of false information. Who decides what's false information? If the government has the authority to say, you have to stop false information, and we are going to tell you what's false information, then the government will be able to suppress true information under the guise of it being false information. The Hunter Biden laptop, for example, when 51 former intelligence officers came out and said, that's nonsense, that's Russian misinformation, and then everybody suppressed it right before the 2020 election. And tons of people that information might have swayed in the way they vote didn't ever hear about it, or they were told that it was complete nonsense and Russian misinformation. 4 years later, it's just considered fact. Everybody knows the Hunter Biden laptop was real, not just him, with hookers and blow and potentially underage girls on the laptop, but evidence of him having a pay-to-play scheme with Burisma involving his father and getting a prosecutor fired. The whole thing is pretty insane. All right, that's the end of the article. Now I got some videos that I want to show, but let's check them with the chat really quick. So yeah, I got plenty of stuff that I want to get into here. Alrighty, all right, let's keep going here. So now let's get into the nitty-gritty of it and see what's actually going on over there, see what the government is saying, and see. So this is the video of them arresting. People in the United, there's the meme that says the European mind cannot handle, and then it's whatever. It shows a guy like shooting a machine gun while eating a cheeseburger or something like that. Well, the American mind can't handle these two officers and this authoritarian blonde woman coming to a guy's house and saying, hey, you said naughty words on the internet, and now we're going to arrest you. So this video is shocking.
Okay, the time's 20 to 3, 14:40. I'm arresting you on suspicion of improper use of the electronic communications network. I'm just
Watch. What? Seriously? Is this for real, or am I being punked? I mean, honestly, I have to ask that question because this is all over Twitter.
All right, I didn't know that this was I thought it was just a straight video, but I got to deal with this guy, so I'm going to fast forward a little bit here. Oh, I didn't want his feedback on this. Man, I thought I pulled up the raw video. Okay, well, this guy's doing about the same thing I'm about to do here, but okay, whatever. I guess I'm not even going to show you the whole thing. The whole video is pretty shocking, but yeah, I guess I'm not going to play the whole thing. You guys get the point. 2 officers go to this guy's house. You said bad words on the internet. We're arresting you. So this is happening not just to one person. This is happening quite a bit. So let's go over to the England police. What is this guy? The police chief? Yeah, this is the police chief. Let's see what he has to say about it.
We will throw the full force of the law at people. And whether you're in this country committing crimes on the streets or committing crimes from further afield online, we will come after you.
Committing crimes online. Well, we have different laws over here in the US. What if we're spreading misinformation over here in the US? Are you going to extradite us? Is that what you're going to do?
Talk to me about that, because we have seen some high-profile figures whipping up the hatred. You talked about it in there with the officers, in fact, about this being added to by online commentary. I mean, I'm even thinking of the likes of Elon Musk getting involved. What are you considering when it comes to dealing with people who are whipping up this kind of behavior from behind a keyboard, maybe in a different country?
Being a keyboard warrior does not make you safe from the law. You can be guilty of offences of incitement, of stirring up racial hatred.
Okay, she specifically asked about people stirring up stuff on the internet in different countries. And he's saying you're not safe from the law. Okay, come and get us, dude. Like, so many people, I mean, people are saying that he said he was going to extradite people, but he doesn't actually say those specific words. But she specifically asked him, what about people in other countries that are spreading misinformation or stirring up hatred online? He's like, well, they're breaking the law. We're going to come after them. Okay, guy.
There are numerous terrorist offences regarding the sort of publishing of material. All of those offences are in play if people are provoking hatred and violence on the streets, and we will come after those individuals just as we will physically confront on the streets the thugs and the obs who are causing the problems for communities.
Okay. All right. Well, okay. They're out of their minds in the UK. They're like this is like V for Vendetta stuff. That's why I made the thumbnail the way I did. And this next clip is like straight out of V for Vendetta. The way this guy carries himself, what he's wearing. I mean, look at this guy. The words the tone he uses, the way he's sitting, everything about this guy screams rabid authoritarian. And this guy thinks that he is the all-knowing judicial whatever. He thinks that his words are gold. Oh God, my dog. Sorry. Let's play this really quick. Let's see what Scarlett's barking at. Hey. You guys, here's Scarlett. Why? What are you barking at? There's nothing even out there. Hey, get down. All right. Let's listen to this authoritarian judge talk about how he's going to lock up somebody because of their posts online.
You have been committed for sentence, having pleaded guilty to an offence of publishing written material which is threatening, abusive, or insulting, intending thereby to stir up racial hatred. The context of your offending is that it arises out of...
You see the little smirk that he has? Like, this guy's getting off on this. You said things online that are going to stir up racial hatred. Well, you guys are letting in tens of thousands of illegal immigrants who don't exactly mix with British culture. They're not, what's the word? They're not melting into the melting pot, if you will. And some would say that that is going to stir up racial hatred. So this this guy is the ultimate authoritarian.
The civil unrest and disorder in many parts of the United Kingdom. On the night of the 2nd and 3rd of August, the Britannia Hotel in Leeds was attacked by people who threw missiles, which...
Who is this, a UK thing? They call Molotov cocktails missiles? I mean, and what does this have to do with this guy? The guy said words online and then people went out and did stupid things. Why is he trying to conflate these two things? This is why you have the freedom of speech here in the United States. This is insane. To the American mind cannot comprehend the authoritarian levels coming out of England right now.
Damaged windows. The police were called, and on the 3rd of August, the hotel was locked down for the protection of those who were living there. At the time, there were 210 occupants, many of whom were foreign refugees and asylum seekers. Again,
nothing to do with what he said online.
Similar attacks to the hotel were launched on the 4th of August. The police attended on each occasion, and units were deployed to safeguard the hotel and to provide an increase in the police presence in the area. In between the two attacks, you took to social media in order to encourage others towards participation in the attacks upon the hotel. As is recognized on your behalf, this offence is so serious that an immediate custodial sentence is unavoidable.
What were his exact words? Encouraged others? Was this guy got like a 200 follower account on the internet and they're acting like he somehow created all these riots? Oh, freaking Nigel over here said we got to go throw Molotov cocktails at this hotel that's housing asylum seekers, illegal immigrants that the government is funding, much like they are here in the United States. This is a powder keg. This whole situation that the United Kingdom government created by saying, hey, it's a free for all. Anybody come over, anybody, and we'll put you up in hotels and give you free shit. The citizens are inevitably going to get mad. Are all these riots based on false information? They say it's somebody that was born in the United Kingdom, say 17 years old. They don't say, anything else about him, but this judge is a maniac.
Would you stand, please? The sentence that I pass has been reduced by 1/3 to reflect your guilty plea. The sentence is one of 20 months imprisonment. You will serve
20 months, almost 2 years in prison. And they said they reduced it by 1/3 because he pled guilty, because he bent the knee and said, yes, I said mean words on the internet. They would have given this guy close to 3 years. This is madness. This is absolute madness. This guy has to go do 2 years in prison because he said naughty words on the internet.
Up to 1/2 of your sentence in custody before you are released on license. If you fail to abide by the conditions of your license, you can be returned to prison to serve some or all of the remainder of the custodial term. The victim surcharge will apply, and I will make a collection order.
Madness. Chiva, go lay down. Sorry, now my other dog is bugging me. Unbelievable. Insane. The freaking Redcoats are insane. This guy's literally wearing a red coat. This whole thing is like parody. All right, so I think this is who the judge was speaking to in the in that sentencing hearing or whatever you call it. So this is from Mario Narwhals. 31-year-old Billy Thompson was sent to prison for 12 weeks. Oh no, this isn't the same guy. After he replied filthy bastards on a post about police issuing a dispersal order to try and prevent protests from becoming violent. So he said filthy bastards in referring to the police. It also included emojis of an ethnic minority person with a gun. Okay. His lawyer said Billy had made the comment as part of an online Facebook conversation with his family member. The judge found him guilty of encouraging violence and imposed the sentence to discourage that kind of violent behavior. Words are violence. You see this? They are calling words violence here. They imposed the sentence to discourage that kind of violent behavior that such messages encouraged. Okay, I apologize that he wasn't calling it violence. He was saying that it encouraged violence. Judge Temperley. All right, these are his words. It may be right that the starting point is a community order for the offense, but I am afraid that this has to be viewed with the context of the current civil unrest up and down the country. Okay, so this guy got, 3 months? Oh, 12 weeks. Wait, is that 3 months? Yeah. So, again, jail time for words. It's freaking madness. All right, let's see. Let's listen to some more freaking Redcoats talk. This stuff's insane. All right, this is, who's this guy? Director of Public Prosecutions of England and Wales. All right, let's see what he has to say here.
The offence of incitement to racial hatred involves publishing or distributing material which is insulting or abusive, which is intended to or likely to start racial hatred. So if you retweet that, then you're republishing that, and then potentially you're committing that offence.
So you don't even have to say the words, you guys. You could take somebody else's words and simply repost them, and they'll arrest you and put you in jail. They're out of their minds. They're going full freaking 1984 over there.
And we do have dedicated police officers who are scouring social media. Their job is to look for this material.
I feel like the police officers might be better suited on the street stopping violence, since you're seeing like machete attacks and stuff. But, you know, I'm sure the online words that they're looking for are more dangerous to society.
And then follow up with identification arrests and so forth. So it's a really, really serious. People might think they're not doing anything harmful. They are, and the consequences will be visited upon them.
The consequences will be visited upon them. What a freaking turd. These people are insane. These people are absolutely out of their freaking minds. All right, let's keep going here. This is from Wise Philosophy over here on the X platform. The attack on free speech in the UK is increasing intensely. 1984 is real life. A man arrested for a Facebook post. Teams looking online to see if anyone is inciting violence. So this is them responding to that video we just watched.
To talk through this. So Matthew, the last point there is crucial, isn't it? Some people might be sharing simply to warn their friends, but it could be considered an offense because they're amplifying.
Lonnie, what up, man? Good to see you in the chat. I haven't seen you for a while. Hope all is well. You guys, Danger's listening over there on YouTube. You guys give him an internet hug. He just had to. His dog just took a turn for the worst and is no longer with us. And Lonnie, like myself, like dogs more than humans. So this was not an easy week. So you guys give Danger over there a internet hug for me, would you?
This.
Absolutely, and that's the key message: is that however you think you're acting innocently on social media, whatever platform it is, you're just sharing something for whatever reason, that could potentially be a criminal offence. And look, it's not an idle threat either, because the Crown Prosecution Service were keen to point out that they've made a number of charges in relation to stirring up of racial hatred online, one of which this morning was for distributing a recording that could, intending to stir up racial hatred. And so they are actually already bringing charges in relation to this sort of thing. So it's a very, very clear message based in the harsh reality, if you like, that if you do this kind of thing, you are potentially committing a criminal offense. There, he said it. They've got teams of people scouring the internet looking for this sort of thing. And if you are in the business of sharing or retweeting, whatever platform it might be, potentially criminal material, well, then you could find yourself prosecuted.
That's insane. That is freaking insane. I'm going to retweet every horrible post coming out of the UK, even if I don't agree with it. So this is freaking insane. All right, let's keep going. So, all right. So the chief constable, Serena Kennedy. This is, the words can't even describe how ridiculous this person looks. And I don't think anybody predicted, maybe they did. Maybe the authoritarian people are always the tiny little weak people. And yeah, you know what? They are kind of portrayed that way in movies and stuff like that, aren't they? That they're always weak little men. I mean, this person looks like a weak little man, but it's a woman. Probably has they, them pronouns or some crap. But the authoritarianism coming out of weak little what look like men is insane. So look at this. Look at this chick. Like, honestly, you guys, look at this is what authoritarianism looks like in 2024. So this is Chief Constable Serena Kennedy, and she has a message for you. You better listen up, folks, especially you hooligans over there in the UK.
We should be giving the grieving families and those that have got children who are recovering time to reflect. But unfortunately, we've seen thugs on the streets of Merseyside carrying out acts of violence aimed at my officers, but also impacting on our communities through criminal damage and meaning they are terrified. There's 81 injured officers, police officers been injured across the last 7 days. However, we have made 36 arrests and there are 11 people in court having been charged and remanded in custody.
And I want to say I do not condone violence, throwing Molotov cocktails and all that kind of stuff. I'm not condoning that. I'm not saying it's a good idea. In fact, I am condemning it. I think it's bad. At the same time, I will say, what did you expect to happen? What did you expect to happen when you are flooding your like Americans can relate with this. Our country is being invaded. That's what we call it. Our border is wide open. They're allowing anybody in that wants to come here. And when they get here, they're giving them all sorts of free shit. And they're not, becoming acclimated to the American way of life. I imagine the same thing's happening over there in the UK. What did you expect to happen? And you almost think that's what they want to happen. They want people to get violent so they can start cracking down. They want to create the conditions where everybody starts tearing each other's heads off. That seems like the ultimate goal here. And then they can point and say, look how poorly you behaved after they've destroyed their own country.
You will feel the full force of the law. You may think you've got away with the events from Tuesday at Southport, Walton on Saturday night, and here at the Pier Head, but we have you captured on CCTV. We have you captured on social media. We will identify. We will be coming for you. You will feel the full force of the law, and we've got the full support of the criminal justice system.
It is so much like 1984, where everybody's got the TV in their room and they can see everything that you're doing. We've got you on CCTV. You have nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. It's so dystopian.
To make you get the sentences you deserve, you should absolutely hang your heads in shame. The impact you are having on the communities here on Merseyside, and that families are not being able to grieve and recover from the terrible incidents of last Monday.
It's really hard to take this lady seriously. This is her. I think this is the same person. So, oh no, this is a different person. Oh crap. Why do they all look like this? Why do they all look like this? I think this is a different person. This is Deputy Chief Constable Rachel Swan from the Derbyshire Police. Look at this. You can't make this up. Like, why do they all look like this? I can't with this lady. Like, honestly, why? Why do you everything? Just okay, let's keep going. All right, let's get a look at what some of this looting actually looks like. So wait, did I even show that to you guys? Okay, I did show you. Okay, good. All right. So this is some of the looting the videos that we're getting coming out of the UK. And these actually look mild compared to the George Floyd protests over here in the United States that actually trickled over there into the UK. But these are the videos that we're seeing coming out of there. So again, like I absolutely do not condone this. This I find insanely stupid. Yeah, because you're pissed off at the government, go and loot your local grocery store. Like you guys are idiots. It's not helping anything, but again, it's like the government wants these conditions to be created so people just start acting a fool. And these are not protesters, these are rioters. And why would you not cover your face? Idiots. All right, let's keep going. I think I got one more. So this is probably like the most insane stuff that I've seen coming out of there. This is them throwing Molotov cocktails at police. So they're getting really wild over there. Where is this out of? Actually, let me see. I don't even know what city this is out of. Any of you guys watching from across the pond, maybe you can tell me in the chat. Yeah, her name was her name Constable Karen? That's funny. That is freaking funny. All right, so I'm not sure what city this is out of. Probably some city that ends with Shire. I don't know. Looks like kids. And I don't have them pulled up, but you're seeing massive, like, Muslim counter protests. Very, very large groups of Muslims walking down the streets, shouting Allah Akbar and all that kind of crap. It's yeah, it'll be interesting to see if those groups get violent, if they are treated with the same full force of the law. All right. Let's listen to Mr. Harrison Smith over here with the InfoWars. I like Harrison, so I want to get his unique perspective on all the stuff that's going down over there. All right, let's see what Harrison has to say.
The damage that you're doing is so much more significant than the crime that you're trying to supposedly fix.
Now, and a woman has been arrested by Cheshire Police in relation to an inaccurate information on social media about the attacker in the Southport murders.
You know how opaque all this is? A British businesswoman accused of being the first person to share false information about the Southports said the mistake has destroyed her. Bonnie Spoforth is alleged to have fired off a tweet on social media site X, formerly known as Twitter, wrongfully claiming the suspect was an asylum seeker who came to the UK by boat hours after the three girls were killed. What? Came to the UK by boat hours after the three girls were killed? That doesn't even make any sense. Somebody from Southport assumes that person is providing accurate information, retweets it herself, and now she's been arrested for attempting to stoke racial hatred.
So again, she retweeted a post. She didn't write it. She retweeted it. And this is coming from somebody that she thought was an authoritative source. The information was wrong. Arrested.
I mean, I want to ask you, what would you be comfortable tweeting? What would you be comfortable posting on social media if right there, instead of saying, you know, the share button, it was like, I bet my life this is true?
And that's a huge point right there that he just made, because that is essentially what they have done over in Europe. with the Digital Services Act, the way they're cracking down on words online in the United Kingdom. That's essentially what they've done, is people are going to massively self-censor now. And that's the point. They want to make it very clear that they will use the full force of the law against you if you say the wrong words on the internet. And that's going to keep people from potentially reposting things that are true, but it just seems a little spicy, so they're not going to say it. This is how you suppress information. This is how you get the mass suppression of information and self-censorship. We are going down a very dangerous path, my friends.
And even if I'm wrong mistakenly, my life is over. People are being sentenced to 2 or 3 years in prison. But like when you talk about cruel and unusual punishment, punishment fitting the crime. The crime is posting inaccurate information about something that doesn't exist. It's not like she posted a guy's name and address and photo and then he was killed and she is now responsible for inciting violence against him. I assume that the person she posted doesn't actually exist at all.
Insane times. So that's what's going on over there in the UK. Pretty crazy shit. It's, to me, it's not so much the riots and things that are all nuts. It's the massive authoritarianism going down over there. It's a very dangerous road. I mean, you guys know that our government would love to do the exact same thing if they could. It's madness. Let's see. Northside, nice to see you. Lori, thank you. She is a cute dog. Yes, I did see that Susan WikiWiki from YouTube, she passed away. And her son, her son passed away a few years ago at like a party in Berkeley or something like that. So it wasn't right after. It was a couple of years ago that her son passed away. So yeah, very interesting. I mean, I'm not going to talk negative. I mean, though there's plenty of negative things to say about her, I'm not going to say anything negative about her after she just died. I get pretty annoyed when people start tearing people apart that just died. But hey, I'm not going to. I mean, she, there's plenty to criticize her about. So if you guys want to rip her apart, go ahead. I'm just not going to on this show, but feel free. I'm not going to suppress your speech like the English government is over there. So let's all right, let's check in with some California stuff, shall we? We got plenty of California crap that I want to talk about. Again, it's been a while. It's been since the day after Donald Trump's assassination attempt that nobody seems to care about anymore. Since I did a live stream where I didn't have a guest, and I will have a guest next weekend. I believe I got a representative from Gays Against Groomers coming up. I got someone from the Free State Project out of New Hampshire coming up. A bunch of cool guests coming up. So yeah, I think this show, since I'm only doing it once a week, it's probably going to eventually become like a guest only show, which means I'll have to do another stream during the week at some point just to talk about current events. It's going to be tough to juggle. Definitely tough to juggle. I was working in Oakland before, which was taking a ton of my time because I had to leave super early. And now I'm with the new company, but our job that we're working on right now is over in San Francisco. And I got to be there by 6, which means I'm waking up at 3:15. And yeah, it's a little rough. Waking up at 3:15, going to the shop, and then heading to the city. And it is rough. I'm not getting home till around 5:30. So it's going to be hard to do a show in the middle of the week. All right, let's go over to Oakland. Let's talk about this one. Here, I'll just read the article first. I don't need to share it. But I don't know if you guys remember, there's a woman, Jen Angel from Angel Cakes, from the Angel Cake shop over in Oakland. Yeah, it wasn't Berkeley. Why are they saying it's Berkeley? Oh, her friend. Okay. So over in Oakland, it's right off, I think it's close to, it's like on the other side of 880, closer to Alameda, but it's still in Oakland. A pretty hood area. It's like West Oakland. And I was driving by her shop like every day. And I guess she was sitting in a parking lot. Somebody came to rob her out of her, sitting in her car, and she tried to fight them back. and they ended up dragging her behind the car, and she fell, hit her head, and she succumbed to her injuries. The thing is, she was a hardcore lefty and social justice advocate, and people are saying that she wouldn't have even wanted the people arrested that did this to her, because she'll say stuff like, they did it out of desperation, they're just trying to feed their families, all that kind of stuff. So, well, the man charged with the death behind Oakland's Angel Cakes has been sentenced to 7 years. 7 years. Means he'll probably be out in 3 or 4. So here's the article from KTVU Fox 2. Man takes plea deal, sentenced to prison for death of well-known Oakland baker. So in Oakland, California, the man charged with the death of baker at Angel Cakes in Oakland has been sentenced to 7 years in prison for manslaughter and robbery. Not murder. Manslaughter is what his charge was reduced to. Ishmael Birch, 20 years old, of San Francisco, was initially charged by the Alameda County Court. That's Pamela Price's Alameda County Court, with murder in the case. He accepted a plea deal and was sentenced on Friday. Okay, so he was originally charged with probably murder too. And Angel Cakes, even though it should be murder 1, premeditated. Well, I don't know. No, I'm not a lawyer. Angel Cakes owner Jen Angel was sitting in her car in a bank parking lot in downtown Oakland on February 23rd when Birch broke in and grabbed her purse. Angel tried to get her belongings back, but was dragged by Birch's car and hit her head on the pavement. Angel was on life support after she died from the injuries the week of the robbery. So, you know what? I will share this because it shows a picture of the guy. Everybody should know what the murderer looks like. So let's let me actually share this here. Yeah, 7 years for killing. That's insane, right, Wally? Let's see. All right. This is what the dude looks like. Ishmael Birch. He's 20 years old. Looks raggedy for being 20. Rough life. Rough life of robbery. I guess it makes you age quicker. Birch was arrested 4 months after the crime. Detectives identified him as the driver of the car that dragged Angel, as well as the suspect in a second robbery nearby the same day. So he wasn't that wasn't enough. Just, killing somebody, same day goes and robs another place. Angel's loved ones released a statement saying that she believed in restorative justice. They added, "We also believe that the sentencing recommended by the DA in this plea deal was the best possible outcome under the current legal system in this political climate. We know that Jen would not want someone involved in her death, whether complicit or not, to waste away in prison for decades. And we could take some comfort in knowing that Ishmael has a chance to repair some of the harm he has caused." These people are so selfish because they're like, we don't care that, we want restorative justice. It doesn't matter that the life of our family member was taken. The important thing is that Ishmael doesn't have to rot away in a prison cell. Why not? He clearly, I would go out on a limb here and say he has no remorse for what he's done. Because of your bleeding heart liberalism, what you're advocating for could potentially get somebody else killed because this predator is given a soft landing. Shit's annoying. Angel founded Angel Cake, a popular community-based bakery on the 5th Street in 2008. Her legacy lives through the Jen Angel Anarchist Media Grant, a grant that makes anarchist ideas accessible through the media. I like anarchist ideas. In an anarchist society, this guy would have been put away for a very long time. Not by the state, by some sort of private means. This guy probably would have gotten. I mean, if it was a truly anarchist society, this guy probably wouldn't be alive anymore. You have much more eye for an eye type situations in an anarchist society. And okay, we'll keep going here. grants. That's crazy. So Oakland has a grant that's called, what was it? The Jen Angel Anarchist Media Grant, a grant that makes anarchist ideas accessible through the media. What do you need money for that? There's a whole book that Michael Malice wrote called The Anarchist Handbook that explains all the ideas of anarchism, many of the ideas of anarchism. And it's not a book he wrote. It's a collection of a bunch of different anarchist thinkers. And yeah, anyway. All right. So Angel Cakes Bakery, the killer of Angel Cakes Bakery got 7 years. So that's wonderful, isn't it? All right. Let's go over to the Los Angeles Daily News. Let me check the chat really quick here. Excuse me. All right. Looks like we're good. All right, cool. We're good on the chat. Keep going here. All right. So anybody that lives in California knows that we have insane energy prices. I don't need to explain to you guys. And it's all fake. All of it. Just like everything else, gas prices. It's all artificially inflated. Why? Because of green energy policies and backroom deals that are made with the California state legislature and large power conglomerates, energy conglomerates that take place, 72 hours before people are actually going to vote on stuff. So the public doesn't have any idea what's going on until it's too late, and they just vote on stuff and ram it through. And next thing you know, your energy bill has gone up by 40%. That's the kind of stuff that's happening. So let's go to this article from Los Angeles Daily News. Sacramento's secretive approach to governing yields harmful and costly legislation. 2 years ago, the secretive California budget process yielded a lengthy and last-minute energy trailer bill that contained a provision requiring investor-owned utilities to charge for electricity based partially on household income. So these are always socialist ideas too. That was an admission by the lawmakers and Gavin Newsom, and the high and constantly rising cost of energy in California is likely to prevent many households from converting from gas furnaces, stoves, and water heaters to electric replacements. High electricity bills are also a disincentive to buying electric cars, you'd think. So the plan was to force investor-owned utilities to charge a little less for the volume of electricity used to take the cap off the fixed charge for being connected to the grid. Then the fixed charge would be based on household income. So they're just going to make the people that make more money in California pay for it. And then those people will say, like, well, wait, what are you doing? All right, we're leaving. We're getting out of here. This is always what's going to happen. This is essentially tax the rich, is essentially what that is. Turning utility bills into yet another progressive income tax. There you go. So this new law ran into furious opposition from the public. The heat was so intense that nearly 24 Democratic lawmakers who had voted for it decided to strike a pose out of outrage and support a bill that would reverse the income graduated rate requirement. The bill didn't go anywhere, but in May, the California Public Utilities Commission adopted a revised plan that will hit most customers with a monthly fixed charge of $24. Low-income households will pay less. What is low income in California, by the way? I'm very curious. What does low income mean? If you're on your own in California, if you make less than $90,000 a year, you're not going to make it. You can't afford your own place, utilities, food, everything. You can't make it for less than $90,000 a year. And even then you are paycheck to paycheck. You are grinding. It's going to be awful. Now it's budget trailer season again. This year, Governor Gavin Newsom has said he wants to do something to reduce the electricity bills, then stop forcing green energy policies down everybody's throats, go back to hydrothermal. Like, he's closed down a nuclear plant. He's making it so we can't drill for our own fossil fuels. We got to import all that crap. Hydrothermal. Everything has to be electricity that's imported from other states. That's why it's so freaking expensive. California should be energy independent, completely energy independent. And he wants everything to come from wind farms and solar. But he says he wants things to be cheaper. It's all a joke. The Senate's Democratic leader is circulating language for the bills that would enable more and faster spending on so-called clean energy infrastructure, costly projects certain to increase electricity bills. So, like, listen to this. Like, in the beginning of this, they say Governor Gavin Newsom has said he wants to do something to reduce electricity bills. And the sentence ends with Democratic leader is circulating language for bills that would enable more and faster spending on so-called clean energy infrastructure. That those things are completely opposite from each other. Clean energy infrastructure mean building offshore wind. Onshore wind projects have their own challenges and aren't really cost effective yet. This offshore wind stuff, the more you guys look into it, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. And it's not really clean energy. It's not green at all. You got these giant ships that need to service them. The turbines themselves are made from fossil fuels, and the blades only last like 20 years, and they're not biodegradable. You got to just bury them. It's awful. And the motors themselves are filled with gear oil. And then you got the transportation of all the stuff, building it. It all is fossil fuels. This stuff is all a freaking money laundering scam, just like the high-speed rail. All this crap. It's all a freaking scam. Okay, so and all this stuff will raise the cost of electricity bills because it's startup infrastructure. And they say that they're fighting big oil. Meanwhile, BP and Shell are the ones that are bidding on these projects. It's all a freaking racket. Don't expect a robust public debate or cost-benefit analysis. Newsom's proposal hasn't even been made public. So they're all doing it behind closed doors. We may see it introduced in the Department of Finance website as a trailer bill language, or it could find its way into a gut and amend of an unrelated bill on the floor of the legislature. The only transparency to the public is the requirement for bills to be in print and published on the internet in their final form 72 hours before the legislature may vote on them. That includes nights and weekends. So they could jam this through, make it public on a Friday night, and then vote on it Monday morning, right? That's 48 hours, but you guys get the point. There's no time for the public, and it could be a super long bill that it's intentionally super wordy and hard to decipher, so nobody has time to look through it. And then the public, by the time the public even realizes that their electricity bills are going to skyrocket, it's already been ramped through. Can't do anything about it. The corrupt California government, that's what they do. It's the opposite of caring about their constituents. The California legislature, the state Senate, they are worse than the federal government. They, like, in every way. California is the blueprint for the rest of the country, and this is what they do. They subvert the public. They do everything that's in the interest of these big oil companies, because that's who these companies are. It's the same freaking players that are behind the scenes. It's all a money laundering project. No bid. Well, they're having bids on the offshore wind project, but it's going to destroy the environment. You guys that are from Morro Bay or know Morro Bay, do you want all of that water to be just filled with windmills? And then that little estuary area where they got like little boats going in and out of there, and it's like a cool little sea town with local fishing and crap. Do you want giant ships going in and out of there, just completely taking over the area? It's going to turn it into an industrialized town, like the ports of San Francisco. It's everything that people like about the small little beach town of Morro Bay is going to be gone. Everything about it. They're going to industrialize it, and it's not going to be good for the environment. Oh, it's so frustrating. The offshore wind stuff is so freaking frustrating. The Sacramento Bee reported that Newsom's proposal, according to two sources familiar with the plan but unauthorized to discuss the details, of course they are, would end a state program that pays for upgrades to school heating and air conditioning systems. It would also reduce utility wildfire mitigation costs, which sounds like it might be a really bad idea, and would lower the price of needed grid infrastructure investments, apparently with creative financing that somehow allows utilities to issue lower cost bonds secured by future revenue from taxpayers. It's all a scam. It's all a racket. Instead of selling bonds to investors who are paid a little more to bear the risk by default. A spokesperson for the governor's office told the Sacramento Bee it has no comment on pending or hypothetical legislation. Of course, the governor's not going to comment on it. So if you have any questions about the governor's proposal, too bad. Be sure to stay awake late at night to read whatever is posted on the website in the Department of Finance or the legislature. You may have 72 hours to contact your representative and leave a screaming voicemail. Meanwhile, Senate President Pro Tem Mike McGuire is circulating language for 5 bills that would streamline the approval process for solar farms, offshore wind projects, and other clean energy infrastructure. What does that mean? Streamlining is another word for curtailing the ability of cities, counties, groups, and individuals to raise objections to having these projects built. All the people that are fighting back against the Morro Bay stuff, it's going to subvert them, all of them. It's going to render them completely defenseless. They're just going to jam it through and turn Morro Bay into an industrialized wind farm. The corruption is insane in California. One of the bills would also enable generous government grants and tax credits to support projects that meet laundry lists of special interest demands. So tax credits. So an idea that's, you don't need government subsidies for a profitable and energy producing thing. They're going to build it on its own because it's going to pay for itself. They're subsidizing this. There's nothing that makes sense about the offshore wind projects. There's nothing that makes sense about it. Zero. It's not green energy. It's not efficient. It's not good for the environment. And it's not cost effective. And it's not even saving fossil fuels. It's all a scam, you guys. All of it. This is an irrational method of legislative energy policy that endangers the future safety and prosperity of the state's population. The only recourse is at the ballot box. The ballot box, where we have universal mail-in ballots, no proof of voter ID. You got a month to vote. There's ballot harvesting. The DMV automatically registers people to vote. And hey, go figure, California illegal immigrants can also get freaking driver's licenses. So oopsie daisies, maybe they get a ballot. It's all a scam. That's your only recourse, is at the ballot box, you guys, because those are completely secure. If we put these elected officials on trial, the defense could credibly plead insanity. This is written by Susan Shelley at susan@susanshelley.com. Go check her out. Twitter, Susan_Shelley. I gotta look her up now. Let's see. Let me see. Hold on. I gotta go over to Twitter and look up Susan Shelley now because she seems rad. Let's see. Is it the same person that works for the California Globe? If it is, we follow each other. Let me see. Susan_Shelley. Sorry, folks. She's a good writer, and I like her. I spell it right. Shlley. Okay. No, different person. I like her. Columnist, member of the editorial board of the Southern California News Group, 11 daily papers, including the LA Daily News and Orange County Register. Okay, follow. She's awesome. So Suzanne_Shelley, Shelley. You guys should give her a follow. That was well written. All right. So, wow. Yeah. So backroom deals for the California State Legislature. That's how they roll. All right. Let's keep going with California stuff. Let's go check the chat really quick. All right. How's everybody doing? Let's see. RGS, it's so tiresome. They literally try to pee on your face and tell you it's rain. Sure do. Yes, they sure do. All right. I think we're all caught up on the chat here. Let's keep going here. Let's keep going with California. Holy crap. I've been going for an hour and 10 minutes already. I only wanted to go 10 hours, 2 hours tonight. And it looks like that's not going to happen. Probably going to end up going over here because I got a lot more I want to talk about. Let's keep going with California madness because there's plenty of stuff happening throughout the country, but I want to make sure I get through all the California stuff first before I get into that. And if I don't get to it, maybe I'll just cut it at 2 hours and I'll do a show in the middle of the week since I basically already have one set up. And I'm getting better at Photoshop, even though this thumbnail sucks tonight. I apologize, you guys, but that's just making a thumbnail for the show takes so much time for me because I suck so bad at Photoshop. All right, let's keep going here. This is from Cheviot Hills, California. 3 Steve Steele. Oh, yeah. So this is from out in, I thought that's near Hollywood, but, oh, Beverly Hills. Got you. Cheviot Hills, wherever. Yeah, I guess that's near Beverly Hills. But these dudes, people, the comments on this too are freaking insane. But these dudes are still insane. So look at broad daylight. They went into this guy's house, stole a safe out of there, and they're just freaking bringing it out. And you like, if you're going to break into somebody's house to steal their safe, you know where the safe is. It means you've done some intel on the guy. So this is like a targeted attack, if you ask me. And what I'm saying here, I'll play a little. All right. So my personal opinion on this matter is if I'm the next door neighbor or any of these neighbors, I should be able to walk outside with my AR and say, hey, drop the safe, get in your car and leave, and allow them to go away. And if they do, that's all I do is just, I brandish my weapon. But if they don't, and they continue trying to steal the safe, I should be able to light up the car. And if they continue, and if they, I don't think you should just be able to freaking shoot and kill the guys. You should be trying to disable them at first, but disable their car, then they can't steal the safe. That you've solved the problem there. Can't steal the safe. Now they're going to be on foot. They're probably going to get caught by the cops, but they're likely armed and they're probably going to draw down on you. And at that point, yeah, you should be able to light them up with your rifle. I personally think that California police whether it's local city cops, county sheriffs, state police aren't going to do anything. Especially in cities like Oakland, they've proven that they can't protect the American public or the California public. My apologies. Everyone's pretty much on their own and just at the mercy of criminals and hope that criminals aren't going to go after them. I was the gentleman that I interviewed for the CEO of Crowds on Demand, Adam Swart. Him and I were going back and forth on this, not arguing with each other, but he was saying he gets it, but how is that not going to turn into vigilante justice? Well, it's like the pot is already boiling over. Now with the point that it's gotten to, it needs to go a little bit in the other direction. Unfortunately, yeah, there needs to be some violence. And I'm not calling for violence or advocating people go out there and intentionally do violence. But what I'm saying is that violence is the only thing that's going to stop this. You have to be able to protect your own personal property. And if violence is the way to protect it, not overuse of force, but that it will inevitably happen, the people that are trained to use violence with the utmost control, cops, how they're trained to use violence with the utmost control. Well, they're not doing their jobs. They're not doing anything. They're not defending the public with the exact amount of violence that should be imposed on these types of situations. So you're going to get untrained people imposing violence that may be a little farther than they need to go. And unfortunately, I think that is what needs to happen in California. I'm not saying vigilante justice, but Californians need to have the the freedom to protect their own stuff. That's it. To defend private property with violence if necessary. The cops aren't going to protect us, and it should be legal to shoot these guys. That's all I'm saying. It should be legal to brandish your weapon, say stop, drop the safe, get out of here. If they continue, light up their car. After that, if they try to fight back, it's game on. We'll continue with the video. Broad daylight, Beverly Hills, one of the richest areas in the world.
Stay. Groucho, stay. Come here. Unmarked Kia.
Oh, my mic. Oh, man. Got a little short my mic cable, guys. I apologize. These guys are idiots. If they had this planned out, like they knew they were going to steal the guy's safe, maybe they didn't. Maybe this was a crime of opportunity. But why didn't you guys bring a better vehicle? Why don't you bring a truck? Why don't you bring a freaking station wagon, a SUV of some sort? You guys are trying, you're trying to cram this thing in the back seat? Isn't there four of you guys? Like, where are you all going to sit? This is like watching monkeys fuck a football.
I hate to be racist, but
the monkey's comment was not a racial comment. A monkey trying to fuck a football is a funny thing. It has nothing to do with race. I can't even tell. In fact, these guys might be white for all I know. They got their faces covered. So that was not a racial comment, you jerks. Don't even try to clip that out of context.
They speak like black people. I'm sorry.
Right as he's saying they speak like black people. Oh, man, I'm going to get roasted on this one. And the reason, if you guys ever heard monkeys fucking a football? It's a phrase. It's because it looks ridiculous. If you picture like a chimpanzee or any type of monkey trying to fuck a football, it's ridiculous and it doesn't work. So that's kind of what they're doing here. It's ridiculous and it's not working what they're doing. I wonder, did they even get away?
And it looks like they just broke this.
So I don't even know if they got away. It's just very, very poorly executed. All right, let's keep going. So now let's go down to San Diego, where they got the border completely under control. It's funny because Kamala Harris is talking about how she was the attorney general in a border state. And then we got videos like this coming out of our border state. It's insane. And this video is extra frustrating because the people, the bystanders in this video, kids, like young college-age kids, are cheering for it, saying, "Welcome to America." This shit's insane.
What the fuck? I didn't even mean to record that. I'm trying to record them jumping off the cliff.
They're cheering for this. They're freaking idiots.
Welcome to America. Welcome.
Welcome. I'm at a loss for words. This is insanely frustrating. This guy right here is just kind of like, fuck these guys. At least some people aren't stoked about it.
You made it!
Stealing another job.
Oh shit! Oh.
You heard the one guy say, "Stealing another job." All right, at least we got some based folks on that beach. Let's see. Northside, leave me alone. I'll drink Red Bull as much as I want. Okay, that was the. All right, I thought I had more than that. All right, here's another angle. So that, like, they're taking jet skis in now, which means they're coming from what, maybe a mile on the other side of the border, and they're just going around and dropping people off in this well-known cove that apparently they know is like a good little port that they can come into. Yeah, I'm sure there's no cartel involvement here whatsoever. This shit's happening on a daily basis. So there you go. Keep going. All right. This is we're gonna go over to freaking our horrible governor, freaking Gavin Newsom, and him just blatantly lying to us again. Like every time he starts talking, it's just gaslighting and lies coming out of his mouth. It's freaking insane. So this is him saying he's calling out, looks like he's calling out the Wall Street Journal. Like, yeah, because they're a right-wing publication, right? It says Wall Street Journal, stop blatantly lying. Month after month, fast food jobs have increased since we raised the minimum wage to $20 an hour for the industry. What's good for workers is good for California. So I don't eat fast food too often, like very rarely. But to me, it seems like fast food prices everywhere have gone up. And now you go in and there's all these little kiosks. Like they've cut staff dramatically. So I don't think what he's saying is true. So let's read the comments. So this is Joey, master of wit and sarcasm. And he says, that was taken 1 week after it went into effect. This graph that he's showing, apparently, according to Joey, master of wit and sarcasm, says that was taken 1 week after this went into effect. Every McDonald's I go to now has no counter people at all. It's all touch screen and only 4 people working making food. Yeah, like that really does seem like what's happening. They're replacing. Everybody has to order their stuff on their own with their own touch panels, and it's very impersonal. And like my guilty pleasure is Taco Bell. It's the same thing. And that, like, I don't know why this bugs me so much, but it bugs me now that they ask you up front, like, how many hot sauce packets do you want? You know, or like you on the little kiosk thing, like you got to select how much hot sauce you want. No, give me a giant freaking handful. Give me a bag full of fire sauce like I used to get. They just grab just handfuls of hot and fire sauce, just put it in your bag. Like you asked for it, those were the good old days. Now it's like they're even conserving on hot sauce packets. It's freaking frustrating. All right, let's go to the article that Gavin Newsom posts here. See if we can find any truth in what he's saying. This is from the Orange County Register. Southern California fast food jobs hit record high despite minimum wage hike. This is from July 23rd. Okay. Limited service restaurants staffing up 2.2% in a year. So Southern California's fast food restaurants saw a record employment in June despite a huge jump in the minimum wage for the industry's largest chains. The measure hiring in the fast food job market in this $20 an hour minimum wage era. My trusty spreadsheet looked at the jobs data for limited service restaurants for Los Angeles, Orange, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties. Employment Development Department numbers show the 4 county regions had 361,500 jobs, fast food job workers in June. An all-time staffing high for these dining establishments that employ 4.5% of all Southern California workers. The quirk is that this tale is that as of April 1st. Okay, the fast food's larger chains had start paying workers at least $20 an hour compared to a $16 minimum wage for industries. Let's politely say industry leaders are not happy. Okay, so that's from April 1st. Like, yeah, it is 1 week after. 1 week after the policy was implemented. So a bunch of these people got laid off. So yeah, he's just lying again. Critics of the increase say the wage hike will push menu prices higher, which they have, and force operators to trim staff and or hours worked, which is true. It's 100% true. This is the article that Gavin Newsom posted to say that the Wall Street Journal is lying. They're saying what the critics say this will happen, and it's true. Like anybody, you go into everybody looks at fast food menus and they're like, what? Are you kidding me? A freaking a quarter pounder now is freaking $10. Like, I don't know how much a quarter pounder is. You guys tell me, but fast food prices are insane. I mean, you used to be able, I'll go back to Taco Bell. You used to be able to go to Taco Bell with $5. I mean, granted, this wasn't a long time ago, but you can go there with $5 and get like 4, even 5 items. I always just get tacos and bean burritos, just the regular crunchy tacos. And they used to be under $1. Now they're like almost $2 each. I think it's frustrating. It's insane. I love me some Taco Bell. It's my guilty pleasure. I hate it. And I'm going to go inside next time. I'm not going to go to the drive-thru. I have to make a video. Because yeah, fast food is not the same anymore. It's not cheap. It's not cheap at all. Like, it's going to make prices skyrocket. People are going to lose their jobs, and less people are going to go to fast food places because it's just not worth it anymore for the price. Plus, there are fears of salaries across the restaurant industry will jump due to stiff competition for workers. Well, job stats show fast food employees rose by 400 in June and is up by 7,600 since March, just before the wage hike. Plus, staffing's up 3,000 in a year. Let's check back in a couple of months here to see what it's like. Please note these job stats are not adjusted for seasonal swings. Historically speaking, though, fast food bosses added 3,200 local workers in June on average since 2010 and added 4,900 in March to June period. So June's fast food hirings look historically low, but the spring was relatively normal despite the wage controversy. Let's compare fast food to the regional's full-service eateries. These dining operations also hit record staffing in June of blah, blah, blah. Who cares about the numbers? Is it more or less? Okay, so he's going to compare to other. Geographically speaking, fast food's hiring patterns are by no means universal. Industry-wide job growth doesn't mean every operator is financially fit in this wage hike period, nor should anybody assume that every worker is benefiting from the new payrolls, and you wonder how long consumers can accept pricier dining. Plus, 3 months of data is by no means a final verdict, yet it does hint the worst-case scenario isn't playing out. It does hint that. Take a peek at the limited service eateries sliced by the region's metropolitan areas to see variations in hiring patterns. Los Angeles County, June saw a record of 190. Okay, just more numbers that are going to be meaningless to you because they're out of context. Okay, so the article that he posts just literally proves nothing. It's Gavin Newsom. That's who he is. It's Wall Street Journal. Stop blatantly lying. Month after month, fast food jobs have increased since the raised minimum wage. And he shows information from a week after that it went into place. Let's check back in a year and see how fast food businesses are doing. Okay, let's keep going here. This was interesting. So you guys remember Mayor Shang Tao over there in Oakland? You know, the FBI raid and all that stuff. Well, apparently the Police Officers Association is urging Mayor Shang Tao to resign immediately. So let's check this statement out. Apologize. All right, just want to check on the chat really quick. All right, this is from August 6th. And it's to the Honorable Shang Tao, Mayor Tao. On behalf of the police officers of the city of Oakland, we urge you to resign immediately as mayor of Oakland. Damn, they just come right out the gates with it. To protect the safety of Oakland residents and businesses, the Oakland Police Officers Association Executive Board Monday voted unanimously to seek your resignation. Unanimously. Oakland's hardworking, dedicated, and brave police officers put their lives on the line every day to protect the citizens of Oakland. Your policies and those of the council majority continue to whittle away at the police officers' ability to protect Oakland from violent crimes, murders, shootings, carjackings, burglaries, robberies, sideshows, and the mayhem that Oakland experiences daily. Wow. Oh, man, they are not pulling any punches here. The FBI raid on your home and your campaign supporters was a turning point. We believe everyone is innocent until proven guilty. However, your credibility has been irreversibly impacted by your decision to go into hiding and not address the public for nearly a week after the raid. When you did provide public comments, none of them rang true. Throughout your almost 2 years in office, violence, crime, and fear have spiraled out of control. Just within the last 48 hours, Oakland suffered a mass shooting in East Oakland, and additionally, 3 people were shot in West Oakland. And again, I don't think gang shootouts should be classified as mass shootings, but that's neither here nor there. The past Thursday, in another Oakland shooting tragedy, Run Hua Kang, 33, is in critical condition after a bullet came through a wall and went through his head. Hua immigrated to the U.S. from China, searching for the American dream for his family. Hua is the provider of his wife and their 2 daughters, 7 months and 3 months and 3 years old, as well as his parents. So the only breadwinner in the household is now in the hospital after being shot in the head. Teenagers are shot dead on our streets. The elderly are afraid to leave their homes. Mass violence and shootings occur in beloved neighborhoods. Small businesses are victimized hourly by burglaries and robberies. Daily sideshows threaten public safety. Our population lives in daily fear, and Oakland is now, on your watch, considered to be one of the most dangerous cities in the world. Here are some of the unacceptable, troubling facts of your failed leadership on our wonderful city. Crime is out of control, yet we have a limited picture of how bad it really is. Why? Your continued defunding of policies has made it nearly impossible to determine the number of home businesses, burglaries, robberies, businesses. In some instances, it takes several days for officers to respond to the calls for help. Right now, our city stands at 54 homicides. Last year, 64 souls sadly lost their lives by this time. Sadly, the death figure could change at any minute. In 2023, the crime rates were through the roof. This year, it is difficult to imagine how bad the situation is because of OPD understaffing, while data from crime against your persons are likely current. Property crimes and crimes reported online are approximately 4 months behind. Citizens are so frustrated by the understaffing that they underreport property crimes, which has also impacted the data and its reliability. Sorry, this font's tiny too. It was a lie when you told San Francisco Chronicle that Oakland is turning the corner and public safety investments we all have made are paying off. Just like a few months ago, like 2 months ago, when Gavin Newsom tried to say crime is down 33% in Oakland, such a scumbag. Residents mock your Gavin Newsom 2 months ago just said crime is down 33% in Oakland. Now the entire Oakland police union is calling for the resignation of the mayor. Yeah, I'm sure crime is everything's going in a positive direction for Oakland. Residents mock your statements that your violence prevention programs are successful. No one believes your prevention programs are successful when, sadly, a teenager was shot to death last week and 4 people were shot in a 400 plus person sideshow this weekend. Because of your failures to take action, Governor Gavin Newsom sent the CHP to help OPD protect citizens. Despite rising crime and fear, your administration and your supporters, council members Nikki Fortunato Bass, Carol Fife, Rebecca Kaplan, and Dan Kalb Seneca Scott, if you're watching, help me. Who are these people? I know who Carol Fife is. He's constantly freaking talking shit about her. Took no action to protect residents and businesses who were forced to plead for help from the governor. It took Governor Newsom to step in and provide leadership when no one was forthcoming from you, Bass, Fife, Kaplan, or Kalb. The governor is now also taking actions against. Don't try and make Gavin Newsom look good here. Against disreputable District Attorney Pamela Price for her failure to protect Oakland and Alameda County from criminals. That would be a George Soros DA, Pamela Price, much like Jessa Bodine, the disgraced DA out of San Francisco. Just last week, Gavin Newsom called upon you to change the city's police pursuit policy to help OPD officers from more criminals, capture more criminals. What have you done? Nothing. You allowed Oakland to go more than a year without a permanent police chief. You accepted responsibility and then tried to blame others for failing to apply millions in grants to fight retail crime. So that was, so Gavin Newsom, he like all he does is just throw money at problems. He made available to different cities millions of dollars to help fight retail theft, instead of like repealing Prop 47, which made retail theft under $950 essentially decriminalized. Instead of addressing the underlying issue, Gavin Newsom decided to throw a bunch of money at the problem. Anyway, well, Oakland just failed to apply. They just failed to fill out the paperwork in time, and they lost out on millions of dollars to help fight retail crime, even though that wouldn't have solved the problem. That's not the point. They just failed to fill out the paperwork. The incompetence level is out of control. On top of the devastating out-of-control violence and crime, the city of Oakland is currently in a fiscal crisis, and should it result in bankruptcy, it will only lead to further deteriorating public safety. The budget you recommend and passed in July by Council President Nikki Fortunato Bass, just to say Nikki Bass, and Councilwoman Rebecca Kaplan, Kevin Jenkins, Carol Feith, and Dan Kalb, cuts the police force from 712 sworn officers to 678 officers. Previously, you eliminated 91 positions, cutting cops from 803 to 712. Oh, man, which sent crime skyrocketing. Oakland's huge. Oakland's a pretty big city, and they only got 678 officers right now, or 712 right now. And they're going to have to cut more cops. It's freaking insane. They're probably super underpaid too. Like, the Oakland PD should be some of the highest pay in the country because of how dangerous that job is. And these cuts go deeper. You have stated, and police staffing, and these cuts could go deeper. You have stated, and police staffing could fall even further in the range of 600 sworn officers if your current budget, which bets on the sale of the Coliseum, doesn't work. So that's the thing too. I guess this Coliseum deal, which the city owns, like a lot of the entire Oakland budget is contingent on this sale. And from my understanding, this is kind of up in the air. Like the sale of the Coliseum isn't necessarily a done deal. So they are like basing their whole budget on money that isn't 100% for sure. So it's insane. Oakland needs somewhere between 1,000 to 1,200 officers to be set at full strength. Wow. So they're like 30% short on the amount of officers they need to protect and serve people and businesses in Oakland. A staffing study is due later this year from the city's constituent, yet you have not requested the information now, and we need it in the most to make sound budget decisions to protect public safety. The OPOA and the public have little faith in your current budget and will be successful. Your sale of the African American Sports and Entertainment Group of the Oakland Coliseum complex is likely to be a failure. It is telling that the A's sold their half of the property for $125 million, while you allegedly will receive $105 million for the city's half. On the face of it, that's an immediate loss of $20 million to city taxpayers. Oh man, and he's calling her like a shitty deal maker. We have no beef with AASEG, but is that really appropriate? We have no beef with, man. Okay. We have no beef with AASEG, but we believe, as do many, that the sale of the public property is not sound fiscal policy decision. Your administration should be cutting everything it can, with the exception of police officers. In fact, you should be adding officers to address what everyone else can plainly see: Oakland is violently unsafe. Is that it? No, that's not it. There's more. I apologize. The responsibility for crime and violence in Oakland rests squarely on your shoulders. We are fed up with your poor public safety decisions. You stated in a rare media interview that the upcoming November recall election against you is a huge waste of money. It's going to cost millions of dollars, upwards of $10 million, during the time where we are looking to see how we can save people who are working for the city right now. She should resign to save that money. We believe that no amount of money is wasteful when it comes to preserving and protecting democracy in the public. Oh, God. We support your recall. We urge you to resign now and prior to the August 8th filing deadline. The city can use any money it saves from your resignation for hiring more police officers to protect the public from violent crime and get Oakland back on track. Every day you are in office, Oakland is less safe. Your administration has turned Oakland into an international embarrassment when the East Oakland Insider Report this week, as the East Bay Insider Report this week, 73%, this is very poorly written. When, as the East Bay Insider Report this week, 73% of Oaklanders believe Oakland is on the wrong track, it's time to pay back. It's time to pack your bag and leave the city. Okay, and it's signed by Hui Nguyen, Timothy Dolan, Glenn Hars, and Timothy De La Vega, treasurer. So, all right. So all of OPD is calling for the resignation of Karen Bass. Pretty crazy. Pretty freaking crazy. What do you guys think about that? I mean, not Karen Bass, sorry, for Sheng Tao. Even though Karen Bass should probably resign too. All right, let's keep going here. Oh, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get through all the California stuff tonight. Let's keep going here. This is a little more from Oakland. Oh yeah, this is just an article about how Newsom told he called for, do you guys know that cops aren't even allowed to get into pursuits in Oakland? And it might be all of California. I don't think it is all of California, but Oakland PD cannot get in high-speed pursuits of cars. They're not allowed to do it. They just have to let them go. So Gavin Newsom is calling for Oakland to change that policy, as we just read in what I just read to you. All right, let's hop across the bay and see equally insane shit, though San Francisco, as horrible as it is not in nearly as bad shape as Oakland. And I mean, I don't know if this, I almost feel like San Francisco's on its way back. I've been going there a lot lately, and it seems, I mean, just because it's San Francisco, it's an iconic city, and it's not because of government or anything like that. It's just because people want their city back, and it seems like it's on its way back. It's getting more busy. Yeah, it seems like they've turned a corner. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I mean, I almost like going to the city again. The food is freaking amazing. San Francisco has fantastic food. I just discovered this amazing place as well. I wish I remembered the name of it, but they got like great little, I don't even call them burritos because they smash them like a panini. It's like a burrito panini. Oh, they're delicious. They're so good. All right. They're doing something crazy though. Let's go over to Betty U here on the X platform. It says cash, not drugs. So San Francisco wants to offer eligible people cash to stay sober, even though they're handing out fentanyl needles and allowing fentanyl to be dealt on the streets and allowing open air drug use on the streets. They want to pay people to be sober. I'm sure this won't be. And they have beer programs. Like you just go and get beer for free. People don't know that either. Yeah, fact check me. Free beer and alcohol. They call them something. They call them, I can't remember what they call them, but I covered it on the show before. The proposal would create voluntary sobriety incentives for eligible residents on public assistance, offering up to $100 a week for those who tested negative for illicit drugs. I test negative for illicit drugs. Can I get $100 a week? I would find that helpful. $400 a month, that's a car payment. Matt Dorsey introduced it with the support of London Breed. Unbelievable. Oh boy, Matt Dorsey, member of San Francisco Board of Supervisors, District 6. Okay. Tenderloin resident Salvatore Zucco said that if the legislation is approved, he would sign up for the program. He is currently a CAAP recipient who receives more than $700 in cash per month. They just pay people to be homeless in San Francisco. It's insane. All right, let's check out this video. It's like 2 minutes.
Tenderloin resident Salvatore Zucco says he doesn't have to go far to get his hands on fentanyl.
Walk outside my building. Literally, that's it.
I'm curious how difficult it is to stay clean for a week.
For me, near impossible.
So he just says the fentanyl is super easy to get. It's right outside his apartment that the city pays for. The city will give him free fentanyl needles. And instead of, cracking down on hard drug dealing and open air drug use and stopping handing out fentanyl needles, they're going to pay him $100 to be able to pass a drug test. So you're still going to do the same things. People are still going to use the drugs, and then they're going to get someone else's pee to pass the drug test because it's illegal in California for them to watch you pee. So you just fake the test. Oh, this is hilarious. This is just freaking hilarious.
At least in this neighborhood, living here right now.
It's people like him that the city hopes its new proposal called Cash Not Drugs will help. Supervisor Matt Dorsey, a recovering addict himself, introduced the legislation Monday. It would reward eligible people a bonus of up to $100 a week if they test negative for illicit drugs.
A humane and effective approach to San Francisco's drug crisis should also include rewarding good behavior and not just punishing bad behavior.
This program will be available to beneficiaries who have been screened and diagnosed for substance use disorders and referred to treatment under the San Francisco County Adult Assistance Program, known as CAP.
Some of you also know that I lost my sister to a drug overdose. She was down in the streets of the Tenderloin. It was definitely very difficult to get her the help she needs. I want to make...
She's in charge. You would think if you lost your sister, you would actually try to fix the underlying issues. Again, drug dealers can operate with impunity in San Francisco. They allow open air drug use, and the city funds NGOs to go hand out hypodermic needles, the things to tie off your arm, things to cook, how they cook heroin or whatever on the spoons. They hand out all the drug paraphernalia that's needed. And they just allow people to decay on the sidewalks. Those are the underlying issues. It's freaking insane. It's like, so they use the logic of, we need to make it harder for law-abiding citizens to get guns, and that will decrease gun crime, when that clearly doesn't work. And then they don't try to apply, and that doesn't work from stopping criminals, the gun thing. And then if you suggest, well, maybe you should make it harder for drug addicts to get drugs, they don't use that same logic. And I know I'm saying that the gun thing doesn't work. Well, it does work. It works from keeping law-abiding citizens from being able to easily obtain firearms, but it doesn't stop the criminals. So if you made it harder for drug users to get drugs, and they didn't have the money to do it, you made it harder for dealers to sell the drugs, they didn't have the tools to use the drugs, drug use would probably go down. There isn't like a black market for the black market. Does that make sense what I'm saying? I'm not explaining this very well, but I mean, I think you guys get what I'm saying. Make it harder for the drug users to get drugs, make it hard for the drug dealers to deal drugs, take away the availability of drug paraphernalia. No, we're just going to give more money. That's it. Just give more money.
Make it just as easy to get treatment as it is to go out there and buy dope.
Is up to $100 enough?
Maybe not in the long term, but I definitely think it would be a good short-term incentive.
Do you see the jacket he's wearing? Oh, San Francisco. I thought it said San Francisco. The Michael Schellenberger's book. Never mind. I got distracted.
Make some sort of an effort.
Salvatore said if it's approved, he would sign up for the program. He's currently a CAP recipient who already receives more than $700 in cash assistance per month. Jonathan Broomfield said his drug habit is expensive.
Well, that's why I said $100 would not do it at all. You know, not saying because I'm gonna take some of the money and go buy some more drugs with it, but I was just think $100 that ain't.
$300 will make you think about it.
Yes.
Oh, you're negotiating? Get out of here.
It will put me in.
How much was this hat? These hats are $45. How much was this? Like, this looks like a brand new shirt thing that he's wearing. Got a fake gold chain on. Like, how are you going to be a brand new hoodie? Like, where did you get the money for all of this?
In the door.
Would up to $100 a week incentivize you to quit?
Yeah.
This guy's like, well, I'm actually the drug dealer, so I don't use the drugs. I just sell it to them.
Yeah, I would definitely.
Spoke with said
I was just kidding. I don't know if he's a drug dealer or not.
ultimately they know it will take more than money to make them give up their habits. It will take their own willpower and commitment. Now, Dorsey is set to introduce this legislation tomorrow at the Board of Supervisors meeting.
Oh boy, so frustrating. All right, what do we got? Iron Ronin, nice to see you. I replace fast food with taco trucks. Most taco trucks in my area are selling burritos for $6 to $8 less than $20 to feed myself and my wife. Any fast food chain would be looking at $30 to $40. I mean, yeah, considering most fast food trucks are probably run by illegal immigrants anyway, so there is no minimum wage. They just, that's a different story. But no, I love taco trucks. I am a fan of taco trucks. I can get a rack of ribs for less than fast food. That's insane. Nice. The town in the news again. Yep. Northside. You over in Oakland? I'm not sure. You probably asked that already. Oh yeah. Not nice for the guy shot in the head. Sorry, buddy. RGS. Good gosh. She definitely needs to resign. Yeah. It's just Shang Tao's insane. What is interesting is that she and her brother are running some sort of grift through her brother's waste management business. Her brother's waste management business or that Vietnamese dude? Oh, wait. That's not her brother, though, is it? I thought they were just like affiliated with each other. But if she had been, I'm talking to Northside over on Rumble, you guys. But if she had been all about public safety and a criminal, people would be defending her. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Madness. All right. Let's keep going here. I only got like 7 more minutes. So let's see if I can get through all the California stuff at least. Oh yeah. So they're cleaning up encampments now. So the grants pass 9th Circuit or was it the Oregon Supreme Court? I don't know. Some group of judges declared that it is legal for states to, was it the 9th Circuit? I don't know. Was the Supreme Court? I don't know who did it. Some group of judges declared that they can't stop cities from cleaning up encampments. So that's what they're doing now. They're trying to sweep the problem under the rug. They're cleaning up encampments in the most inhumane way. They're just going and taking everybody's shit and throwing it away, where the people just go right back to the exact same spots, and they aren't addressing any of the underlying issues, many of which I've already been talking about all freaking show. Again, fentanyl needles, drug dealers, all that stuff. The mental health crisis, the opioid epidemic, the fentanyl crisis, the homeless crisis, all of these things are intertwined, and they're not doing anything to fix the underlying issues. They always talk about we need to build more housing. Well, sanitariums were housing. Jail is housing, like wings of jails. I'm not saying bring back the war on drugs, but stopping the war on drugs and then completely making, they didn't make drugs legal. They just made it legal to do drugs on the streets, which still means there's a black market for drugs. It's the worst possible outcome. Drugs are still illegal, which means there's no regulation on it. There's no competition. You just have to get drugs from whoever you want or whoever is available. They don't have stores that sell drugs. There's no way to ensure that drugs are clean, that they aren't going to kill everybody that uses them, even though drug dealers don't want to kill their users. But I mean, that's what's ultimately happening here. I don't know. It's a whole shit show. They're not doing anything to fix the underlying issues, and they're just cleaning up encampments. Here's a quick video of them cleaning up one of these encampments. They're doing it in a very inhumane and cruel way, and it's not going to fix the problem. They're just throwing away everybody's shit. I mean, I guess it'll be a slight improvement because you'll have less trash and bullshit on the sidewalks, but it's not going to fix the problem. And then it's just going to come back. You're not treating the wound, you're treating the symptoms. Oh, also, the funny thing is the cities are the ones that are handing out these tents. So a lot of the stuff that they're taking from them and throwing away are stuff that they got for free from non-governmental organizations that are sponsored by taxpayers. It's funny.
Hey,
Oh, that's a super effective method, officer. Stealing everybody's shit, stealing a homeless person's shit, throwing it away, not giving them any notice, and then just screaming, relax at them. That'll totally solve the problem. You're doing great work, officer.
please relax. Hey, too much. Too much. Not wrong. Put your back.
If the cameras weren't on, this cop would have clubbed him by now. You know it.
No more. This is what it's come down to. Not my life. It's our lives together.
Here in Santa Cruz, you'll see they actually started putting tags on tents. I noticed that when I was running down the levee, not too like 2 weeks ago or something like that. They put like if you leave your car abandoned on the freeway, they'll put like that orange sticker on your windshield. Some of you guys might not know because you've ever had to your car's never broken down on the freeway. Well, mine has several times. If you break down on the freeway and you leave your car there, highway patrol will come by and it'll give you like 72 hours to get your car off the freeway, get your car off the shoulder. They're putting those same style like tag stickers on people's tents. They're notifying them like, hey, we're going to come and do a sweep. If you don't have your stuff out of here, we're going to throw it away. And looks like they didn't do that here in this case. All right, let's keep going here. Got like 3 other things I want to get through. Oh yeah, there's a clip from. So yeah, here's gaslighting Gavin, and I played it before. You guys are probably familiar with it. Gavin Newsom in 2008, when he was mayor of San Francisco, said he was mayor of San Francisco back in 2008. There's a famous video of him talking about his 10-year plan to end homelessness. And again, he was the mayor of one of the cities in America that has the worst homeless crisis going on. Fast forward to 2024, he's now blaming cities and, well, he's blaming counties and pointing the finger at them, saying that, he's done everything he can from the state point of view, and people just aren't giving him enough credit. This video infuriates me. So here's Gavin gaslighting everybody. And he goes and he does this press conference in front of a freeway underpass with an encampment right behind it. And then he hired a photographer for $200,000 a year to take pictures of him going and personally picking up like trash from the encampment. Just like his China visit where he was on the wall of China, just, in his aviator sunglasses like he's always wearing, trying to look cool. And his new podcast with Marshawn Lynch that's super freaking cringe. Like everything this guy does is so freaking fake. Everything. So here, listen to this scumbag talk.
But look, I've been at this a long time. I've been accused of a lot of things. But one thing I have been accused of is time and investment and energy into trying to address this crisis.
I've been trying, guys. I put a lot of time and effort into this. I've been trying, and you guys just don't give me enough credit, even though I've thrown $24 billion at this problem in the last couple of years, and nobody knows where it went. But I've been trying, you guys.
I am done with, however, is patience. I'm out of it. I'm done. And now it's not just an expression of frustration, because that's futile and that's pointless. It's an expression of resolve that we have tools, and I'm going to redeploy those tools, and I'm going to redirect resources unless we see more results. It's not complicated. But
so he's talking about counties and cities that aren't doing what he thinks, or he claims he thinks is necessary to solve the homeless crisis. He's going to redeploy those resources to other cities. Like he took money from that was supposed to go to San Diego and he sent it to San Jose. And that's why it's so funny, because I just noticed that the mayor of San Jose, who I actually think does a pretty good job, but he's been kissing Gavin Newsom's ass a little extra hard lately. And I noticed it. It was just like, that's weird. You usually don't kiss his ass this hard. You seem to be kissing his ass extra hard. Go figure. He just got millions of dollars that was supposed to be given to San Diego, but he's been kissing Gavin Newsom's ass. So here, boom, money towards homelessness. It's all a scam. This dude makes everybody. He talks about Trump acting like he's the king and holds his finger out for everybody to kiss it. This is what he does to all the mayors and county leaders and supervisors in the state of California. He considers himself to be a god that's in charge of all this California taxpayer money that is just stolen from Californians. And he deploys it in any way he wants, and he deploys it to the people that kiss his ass the most. He's an absolute scumbag, and he hates Californians. He absolutely hates them. I can't stand Gavin Newsom. He is an evil freaking scumbag. All right, we'll end with this. This is actually funny. So Elon Musk retweeted this. So Elon Musk retweets altered Kamala Harris campaign ad. In the video, Harris seemingly exposes herself as an incompetent candidate for president. The origin of the video isn't yet known. So Gavin Newsom says manipulating a voice on an ad like this should be illegal. I'll be signing a bill in a matter of weeks to make sure it is. So Gavin Newsom's trying to make speech illegal. He's trying to make parody comedy illegal when it's quite obviously parody, because this is even over the top for dumbass Kamala Harris. Like people can tell it's not actually Kamala Harris saying this. So here, I'll play it. This is what Gavin Newsom is trying to make illegal. So here, hold on. This is Gavin's post right here. So he says manipulating a voice on an ad like this should be illegal. So again, parody should be illegal. Using AI to create parody comedy should be illegal. I'll be signing a bill in a matter of weeks to make comedy illegal. So let's see. What is Gavin Newsom talking about? What does Gavin Newsom want to make illegal? This is what he wants to make illegal, and it's freaking hilarious. So here's the ad Gavin Newsom wants to make illegal.
I, Kamala Harris, am your Democrat candidate for president because Joe Biden finally exposed his senility at the debate. Thanks, Joe. I was selected because I am the ultimate diversity hire. I'm both a woman and a person of color. So if you criticize anything I say, you're both sexist and racist. I may not know the first thing about running the country, but remember, that's a good thing if you're a deep state puppet. I had 4 years under the tutelage of the ultimate deep state puppet, a wonderful mentor, Joe Biden. Joe taught me rule number 1, carefully hide your total incompetence. I take insignificant things and I discuss them as if they're significant. And I believe that exploring the significance of the insignificant is in itself significant. Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time, and there is such great significance to the passage of time. Another trick is
that part wasn't parody. That was real unedited footage of Kamala Harris talking. She's a maniac.
trying to sound black. I pretend to celebrate Kwanzaa, and In my speeches, I always do my best Barack Obama impression.
So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
And okay, look, maybe my work addressing the root causes of the border crisis were catastrophic, but my knowledge of international politics is truly shocking.
The United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. It is an alliance that is strong and enduring.
And just remember, when voting this November, it is important to see what can be unburdened by what has been. And by what has been, I mean, Joe Biden. You think the country went to over the past 4 years? You ain't seen nothing yet.
So nobody thought that was serious. Just absolutely no one thought that wasn't parody. Even though Kamala Harris is so freaking dumb and she said so many ridiculous ass things that are just, you could tell she gets lost in her thoughts. Like she starts off trying to say something or trying to ad lib, and she just doesn't really know where she's going with it. And she gets halfway into it and she realizes, like, oh God, I have nowhere to go with what I was trying to explain because I didn't even know what I was trying to explain. So I'm just going to say words and change my voice inflection and hope that nobody notices how much of a retard I actually am. That's all that she ends up doing. And even though she's that dumb, nobody thought this was serious. Nobody thought that was a real freaking campaign ad. Well, Gavin Newsom wants to make it illegal. So there's that. All right, folks. It's about 2 hours. That's all I'm going to do here. I got a whole bunch of other stuff that I wanted to talk about, but sorry, I just got a text message. I forgot to go on forgot to put it on Do Not Disturb, and my friend just sent me a very funny text message about his son having hair in his food. All right, let's see. B Sizzo, nice to see you. Northside. Okay, all right. I think yeah, we're a little it's a little light in the chat tonight, which actually is I know it was a mellow show. There wasn't I don't like talking about all like the same topics that all of the talking heads are talking about. That was a Kamala Harris phrase that I just said there. I'm, like there's all the JD Vance stuff going on right now, talking about Kamala Harris's new VP pick, which I don't know a lot about the guy, but apparently there's like false valor, something or other. He's claiming he did stuff in the army that he never did, or whatever branch of the military he was in. I don't know. I don't like talking about all that other stuff. I talk about stuff that interests me. I like talking about California issues. So sort of maybe even a slow news week. I mean, if that even happens nowadays, but yeah, that's it. That's all I got tonight, folks. That's what we're doing. Yeah. So hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Always good to have you here. It's always fun. I will be back next Sunday, but I basically have a whole other hour queued up. So I might as well do a show at some point during the week. Maybe I'll do one on Friday, but I'm probably going to have a guest next Sunday. So yeah, I got to try to get through what I already have queued up at some point this week. So I'll do a pop-up episode this week. And if you guys miss it, I will see you next Sunday. Thank you everybody for hanging out. Wally World, Danger, Iron Ronan, B Sizzo, Northside, the RGS, Lori, all you guys, thanks for hanging out in the chat. Always appreciated. If you guys want to support my work, give this thing a like, a repost, leave a comment, all that good stuff. Thumbs up are always helpful. Yeah, thank you guys. Fun hanging out. I will see you guys next Sunday. But before we get out of here, you know how we do it. Got to tell a joke from the greatest book ever written, The Truth About Chuck Norris. What do we have tonight? Wow, this is my favorite Chuck Norris joke. I may have told it before, but actually I know I've told it before. So, but I opened right up to it. So I'm going to tell it again. And let's see. Hopefully you guys don't remember this, but I don't even need the book for it. Chuck Norris's dick is so big it has its own dick. Chuck Norris's dick's dick is bigger than your dick. And on that note, stay CaliBased.